I was just not happy with whatever, other types of majors I tried out. So yeah, it took a while for my mom to accept. It wasn't until I actually got a job as a graphic designer at UH Manoa, and I was totally supporting myself at that point. I didn't need help from her, and then she was like, it's like, oh, okay, wow, you can actually get a job, as an artist,
Yeah. So today we're at Cafe Dakba, a karaoke bar in Kaka'ako. So if you hear some music, I'm very sorry. But we're here with Derick, aka 7Sketches. This is actually one of his art pieces, art murals here. So your art style is like a mix of graffiti, street art, and anime.
Yeah.
You do character toys, and you have murals kind of all over Oahu. I'm really curious on where your love for art started and just everything that led you to where you are today.
Okay, for me, any other kid, yeah, we're all into art, yeah, in preschool or elementary, whatever. So I've always been into art. I guess I just never outgrew it, I just continued to draw and draw and draw. And I think what kept me interested is my love for cartoons, comic strips. It was always a hobby for me. I never thought that I'm gonna become an artist one day. The reason for that is because I was kind of trained by society or my parents,
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, right? Starving artists.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's oh, if you wanna make choke money, you become a doctor or a lawyer. If you wanna starve, then you can become an artist.
Yeah.
So then for the longest time, I kept art as just a hobby and didn't pursue it beyond that. Then I go into college, and every time I tried to go into one major, I would get bored, and then I would come back to art. And then while I'm in art, I'm like, okay, wait, I don't want to be poor. Let me try be an accountant, and oh, this is not for me. Go back to art. So I kept doing that, and then eventually, I told myself I can't keep doing this. I'm wasting money. I'm getting old. I need to just stick to, what's calling me, obviously, which is art. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna be poor, but at least I'm gonna be happy. So I decided let's just do this. Let's just embrace art and just go forward with that. At UH Manoa, I was a comic strip artist. Yeah, so at that time, everything was black and white, and I was super excited to do comic strips for them. And that's when I created 7Sketches, actually. So 7Sketches was the name of my comic strip at UH. Doing that comic strip and just the amount of love I got for it, attention, or the way people were laughing and collecting my strips, I thought that was awesome too.
I feel a lot of the times a common thing with Asians and pursuing art.
Yeah.
So many people in film school, if they're Asian, they're oh yeah, I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but I'm gonna try to pursue it. And they have this if I'm gonna do this, I have to be the best at it because I'm not gonna be a doctor or a lawyer. It's almost you have to be the best in what it is now. And then for me too, I enrolled in architecture.
Same.
It's artist types, I think they're oh, well, architecture is kind of artsy,
the closest, right? Yeah.
Right, but you can make money as an architect,
Exactly.
It feels the closest thing, maybe, yeah. But then I didn't even take one class. I dropped out that summer before the classes began. I dropped all of it. I was actually, let's just try video. Yeah. On that topic, I want to know about how your family took it. Was your family, because you mentioned it was something just kind of in the back of your mind, right? Art is not a good career path or whatever.
Right.
Did that come from just family or more society in general, or?
Both actually. But my parents, I took an art class in college. It was the first digital art class ever. At the time, I was so happy with what I did, so I came home, I showed it to my mom, and then my mom was, she was really impressed. And then she said, Derick, you know what, if you really want to do this, then I support you. So she came to the realization that's what I'm most excited about, what I'm most passionate about. So I had her blessings. But still though, she said that, but then further down the road, I think she forgot she told me that. Then she was so Derick, what about being a teacher?
In that moment, she said it, but then she forgot.
After that, she regretted, I think. I was oh, I don't want him to starve though. I mean, he's gonna be happy, but he's gonna be poor and living with me forever.
Right. They're just looking out for you in the end, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, because my parents are from the Philippines, and so they had it hard there, and so they came here and they want what's best for us, right? So I understand, she wants what's best for us or whatever, but yeah, I was just not happy with whatever other types of majors I tried out. So So yeah, it took a while for my mom to accept. It wasn't until like I actually like got a job as a graphic designer at UH Manoa, and I was totally supporting myself at that point. I didn't need help from her, and then she was like, it's like, oh, okay, wow, you can actually get a job, as an artist,
Yeah. Talked a little bit about like watching cartoons and stuff growing up.
Yeah.
Can you name any like specific influences that for your art that you had throughout the years, I guess, because for your art style?
Spiderman specifically, this artist named Todd McFarlane, when I first saw his artwork, like it was so different from the comics previous. Like it was very like exaggerated, and like his panels, like back in the days comic books, like it was very rigid, but he just made the panels like very jaggedy, and the characters were like busting through the so he just like did a lot of things that people weren't doing at that time. From graffiti, I took like the exaggeration, the thick lines, and just the overall like vibe of hip-hop. So those are the two main influences. So I kind of took those and then I fused it together, and Sanrio too, and tokidoki. I'm telling you about so like what I liked about it is like they're just a world of characters so different from each other, but they look like they
same
world.
They're from the same world.
Exactly. So when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, like, one day I'm gonna create a world of my own characters. And I even said it out loud in the universe. I put it out there. Like when I was in college, they put us, they had us in a circle, and it's like, Derick, what do you want to do? And it's like, oh, I want to create like Sanrio characters that are kind of street style, like something along those lines. Then fast forward to the future, Tokidoki, Simone, Tokidoki. He did a talk, and I attended his talk, and he was talking about like the origins of his brand, and he said what I told like he's like
no,
so that's what he said. He totally said it, and he was like, so for me, like I was into Sanrio characters, and I kind of want to give it an edge, and so that's how my characters came to be. And I was like, oh my god, I mean, like that's cool, but that was my idea. I slept a little too long, but that's my idea.
Funny,
But I thought it was cool because then it made me understand why I liked it, even though
it's you guys had the same vision.
And just the way he talked about things, like the way he talked too, like at first I thought, because he was saying things like, I wanted to give it an edge and whatnot, so I thought he was gonna be like super street or whatever, but then he started saying things like, but I like cute things, and I was like, okay, he said it, like, okay, now I can say it too, and not feel insecure about myself, like, oh yeah, hide the Keropi collection, like, no, I only like graffiti.
So I heard you were in Japan for a little bit. I don't really know when, but when were you in Japan? What were you doing there, and what was it like?
I got my degree in graphic design. I was already working as a graphic designer, but I really wanted to go to Japan, so I went back to school just to get my my BA so I could apply for the JET program. Them knowing that I'm from Kauai, they're like, oh, this guy's from the boonies, so we can put him like full on in the sticks, and he'll like he'll enjoy it, he'll like not complain at all. And so they put me in the Ishigaki, and I didn't even know where Ishigaki was, and I was trying to look for information on the internet, and I barely could find anything. I was like, where am I going to? Like there's barely any information on it, and whatever I saw, it looked so desolate. I'm going to this like tiny island, and not only am I going to live on Ishigaki, but the district called Taketomi-cho, and I had fun. It was very laid back, like way slower than Kauai. So and I felt like I could relate to them a lot too, because they're a tiny island, very country.
You said it's more country than Kauai.
More country, At least in Kauai we have theaters. we have a shopping mall and whatnot. Over there it was very boonies, but it was so much fun because I feel like the people become closer because there's it's just about personal skills now, like socializing and whatever. A lot of drinking parties. That's when I experienced nomikais, like drinking too.
It's the whole thing.
I didn't drink at that time. I was so like good boy, like no, I don't need to drink to have fun. Everybody around me was drinking, and they're teasing me like, why don't you drink? Are you baby? Or like that.
Something they would say,
but I was like, no, just I was making up stuff like, out of respect to my grandma. I don't know, just coming up. I just
it's not part of my culture.
I just didn't want to say like I'm just like I wasn't like that. Like, but when I started working there, like I didn't want to be rude to my boss and my manager.
That's the thing. Like it's almost like if your boss drinks, then you have to drink.
Exactly.
Like almost just to like kanpai.
Yeah.
Like I worked at a Japanese restaurant here, and that drinking culture was very like, it's like if you go out and they're gonna order a beer, and then like, if you can drink, you have to drink. And
if you can drink.
Like if you can drink, then you have to drink. Yeah, and like the whole culture of pouring drinks. Like if I was the youngest, like I'd be around like pouring drinks for people, and like, yeah, that's like something I recently was like, maybe this isn't such a good trade. Like maybe I should like look at my Japanese culture and be like, maybe this isn't always the best. Like, you know.
That's over here in Hawaii? Or in Japan?
In Hawaii, but it was like a very Japanese restaurant. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they carried that Japanese.
Yeah, they were from Japan. Yeah.
I see.
I mean, it was fun.
I just remember when I came back from Japan, like just like couldn't stop talking about Japan. I'm sure everybody was getting irritated around me. I was like, shut up, Derek. We get it. You had so much fun.
You went to Japan.
Yeah. Stop showing off already.
So moving forward, what else do you have going on for your art, and I guess what do you have planned?
A lot of things that I've wanted to do with my art, I've done it, yeah. So like I've always wanted to do murals, and I actually got the opportunity to do murals. I've always wanted to do toys, like designer toys, and now I'm actually doing it. For the future, like I just want to like grow that, like expand, become bigger in those things. Like so, right now at this moment, now that you're asking me. I'm really like excited about the designer toys. I love that. Like I was so humbled that these companies from the mainland reached out to me and they're like, "Hey Derek, we want to work with you and like you're sad panda and let's blow it up and stuff like that." And then also like I want to go back to like what 7Sketches was in the beginning, the whole comic strips. What I love about doing comic strips is, how I say like, oh, I'm kind of like more introverted, like I'm not.
Right.
With comic strips, like that's my way of expressing myself, yeah. So I want to go back to that and like do an animated version of it. So, like have voiceovers and really simple animation. Yeah, I'm not trying to be like Disney or anything like that. I just want to tell stories in a very simple and quick way. If you were to ask me like a while back, like why do you do art, or what's the purpose? My answer would be so shallow. It'd be like, oh, I just want to do cool things. Whatever looks cool, whatever looks cute. That's all I care about. But I had a design coach, and he really drilled it into me, like, Derek, your art needs to have a story. There has to be a reason. We have
the purpose.
Yeah. People, you need to give people a reason to care for it. When he had me thinking that way, it made me like enjoy my art more, because now I'm like thinking about how can I express myself through my art, or how can I tell a story, or how can I spread messages or whatever. So for me, like, there have been a few times where like my art connected with people on a really deep level. For example, I wanted to talk about like mental health.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's the route you're gonna take.
Yeah. So, and that was an accident too. Like the sad panda, like I didn't set out to draw a sad panda. I just drew a panda. It just accidentally looked sad. And then that's what I thought. Other people looked at it and they're like, "Oh, so cute. He's so sad." It's like, "Oh, it does look sad. All right, cool." And then from that point on, I decided to like, whenever I promoted a new design of Sad Panda, I would start to tell a story. And then his story, like I pull bits and pieces from my experiences, my past. And somebody actually connected with it. Somebody like, I was really touched. This guy just DM'd me and he told me his story that he struggled with depression, like, on a serious level, yeah. So when he read Sad Panda's story, like a lot of his character, he can actually like relate to it. And like, man, I almost wanted to cry because I'm like, I did not expect for that to happen so soon. Like, I thought it would take a while for me to like, build up to that, and all of a sudden this guy connects with it. Yeah, it really like touches me when I see like people come out like so brave to admit like, I struggled with this, I struggled with that, but I'm trying to overcome it. And so like that has given me like a little bit, courage to like, speak about it more. Because when I was going through like hardships like that, like it really helped a lot to know that there's somebody else like me going through the same thing, and so I don't feel as alone in this and so embarrassed or whatnot. I love that I have opportunities to do that. So that's the whole thing. Goes back to like, I'm too shy to like express myself, but through my art, my art's my voice basically. So I can connect through people with my comic strips or stories of my characters.
I'm excited for you. Maybe one day you'll have an animation, like a short animation.
That would be so cool. I won't animate it myself. That's so much work. I studied animation and everything.
You get the characters.
But I got the characters, I got the story, and then I'll hire somebody. But I would love to see animation with my art too.
Good.
Yay!
Yay, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
That's so interesting.